Hi, welcome back to HEC Career Hub. And if you are new here, welcome to the family. Okay, so I want to ask you something before we start. Have you ever been on site and something just felt off? Like you are looking at the task, and in the back of your mind, a little voice is saying, this does not feel right. Something could go wrong. That feeling, that instant, that is the beginning of a job hazard analysis. Today we are going to take that gut feeling and turn it into a proper, professional, documented process that can genuinely save someone's life and prevent the catastrophic incident. We are talking about the JHA, job hazard analysis. Now I know some of you watching this video will be completely beginner in HEC profession, or maybe someone studying for nebosh, etc. And maybe uh, your supervisor just handed you a blank JHA form and said fill this up, and you have no idea where to start. And some of you may be experienced professionals who have been doing this for years but want to make sure you are doing it right. This video is for all of you. So grab a pen, get comfortable, and let's get into it. Alright, before we jump in, let me give you a quick roadmap of what we are covering today. Because this is a complete guide, not just a surface level overview. We are starting with the basics, like what a JHA actually is, why it exists. Then we move into the legal stuff, because yes, this is required by law in most countries, and I will show you exactly which standard apply to you. Then the main event, the 5-step JHA process. We go through every single step with real world example. After that, I'm going to show you a real filled in JHA form. So you can see exactly what a finished document looks like. Then we talk about industry specific applications, construction, oil and gas, manufacture. Then the top 8 mistakes people make, including some that even senior HSC professionals make. And finally, pro tips and digital tool to make your life easier. By the end, I promise you, you will be able to sit down, open a blank JHA form, and complete it confidently for any task. Okay, let's go. So, what is a job hazard analysis? Let me give you the official definition first, and then I will break it down into a plain English. A JHA is a systematic process of identifying hazard at each step of a job task and putting control in place to eliminate or reduce those hazards. Now, what does that mean in real life? Think about this. You are a surgeon. Before you operate on a patient, do you just walk in, pick up a scalpel, and start cutting? No. You plan every step. You check the patient's file. You brief your team. You sterilize everything. You think ahead. What could go wrong? What's my backup plan? That is a JHA. It is a pre-work thinking. It is planning for safety before the job starts, not after someone gets hurt. Now, one thing that confuses a lot of people, you might hear this called different name at different company. Some call it a JHA, job hazard analysis. Some call it a JSA, job safety analysis. Some call it even a JSEA, job safety and environment analysis. Here is what I want you to know. They all mean the same thing, same process with different names. So don't be panicked with that. Don't let the terminology confuses you. If someone hands you a JSA form, you know exactly what to do with it. So, uh, why JSA is important? Okay, I want to share a number with you, and I need you to really hear this. 95%. 95% of workplace accidents are preventable. That's not my opinion. That's from the International Labour Organization, ILO. Almost every accident that has ever killed or injured a worker on a job site could have been stopped. Sit with that for a second, because behind every accident statistic, there is a real person. A father who did not come home, a mother who lost her hand, a young worker first week on the job who nobody gave a proper briefing to. That's why the JHA matters. Not because it's a form you have to fill, not because your manager told you to do it, but because it is the single most powerful tool you have to make sure your worker go home safe at the end of every shift. And on the top of that, it is also legally required in most countries, like under OSHA, under ISO 45001, under the Factory Act here in India. So it protects the worker, and it protects you legally. This is not a paperwork. This is a protection. So now let's quickly talk about the legal side, because I know a lot of you watching this are working in different country, and you need to know exactly which regulations apply to you. So if you are in India, the Factory Act of 1948 and the BOCW Act, that is the Building and Other Construction Worker Act, both require risk assessment for hazardous tasks. So if you are working on any construction, manufacturing or factory site in India, you are legally obliged to have this document. If you are working in the USA or for a company following OSHA standard, JHA specifically reference under 29 CFR, which covers both general industry and construction. If your organization is certified to ISO 45001, which is the International Health and Safety Management Standard, Class 6.1 specifically required hazard identification and risk assessment. That's your JHA. And for those of you who are working in Gulf, like Saudi Arabia, UAE, Qatar, a JSA is mandatory before any high risk work, and it is a core part of the permit to work system. So wherever you are, India, Gulf, international project, this applies to you. And here is the thing, if something goes wrong on your side and there is no JHA on record, you as the HEC officer can be personally held liable. That's how serious this is. Know your law, do your JHA, protect yourself and your co-workers. Two questions I get all the time in the comment and from my colleague is, when exactly should I do a JHA? And who is responsible for doing it? Let me answer both. When? Do a JHA before you start any new task that has not been done before. Do it when your procedures are changing. New equipment, new method, new location. Always do it after an incident or near miss, because that near miss was a warning sign. And absolutely for any high risk work, anything involving height, chemical, confined space, electricity, heavy lifting, these always need a JHA every time. Now, who should do it? And this is the part where I see the biggest mistake in the industry. So many companies, the HEC officer sit in his office or her office, fills in the JHA form alone, print it out, and hand it to the workers. This is wrong, completely wrong. That kind of JHA will miss the most important hazard. Because guess what? The people who know the job best are the worker who are doing that job. The guy who has been operating that machine for 5 years. He knows exactly where it vibrates, where it overheats, where it sticks. Include him in the JHA process. The JHA must be a team exercise. HEC officer leads, supervisor contribute, worker participate, management reviews and signs off. That's how you get a JHA that actually works. Alright, this is a moment you have been waiting for. The 5-step JHA process. This is your framework, your blueprint, your go-to tool. Learn these 5 steps and you can conduct a JHA for any job in any industry anywhere in the world. Ready? Step 1. Select the job task. Step 2. Break down the job into individual steps. Step 3. Identify the hazard at each step. Step 4. Assess the risk. Step 5. Determine the control. Simple, logical, powerful. These 5 steps flow one into the next. You cannot skip one and expect the other to work. It's like building a house. You cannot put the roof on before the walls are up. Let's go through each one in detail right now. Step 1. Select the task. Now here is the reality. On day 1, as an HEC officer on a large site, like initially on the first day of your visit on site, you cannot do a JHA for every single activity. There might be 50 different tasks happening simultaneously. So where do you start? You start with risk. High risk first. Remember this. Highest risk first. Always priority 1 shall be your critical task. The one, if someone or something goes wrong, it will be fatal. Working at height, confined space, entry, high voltage electrical work, hot work and welding, these are your first priority for JHA. No debate. Okay. Priority 2. High risk work. First one was highest risk work. Priority 2 will be your high risk work like crane operations, chemical handling, excavation, scaffolding erection. They are still very dangerous, but perhaps a slight more established procedure already in place. So your priority 3 is medium risk, like manual handling, driving, routine maintenance, onboarding new workers. The most important thing is uh, you should prioritize the task. The first priority should be your highest risk task. Here is a pro tip I want you to remember. Always check your incident history before you start. Look at your organization past accident and near misses. Those records are your roadmaps for categorizing the highest risk, high risk, and um, uh, the middle risk. Okay, medium risk. So here is where you can find the company records and then you decide based on this. They are telling you where our people got hurt. Those company record tells you about those history. Start from there. And one more thing, when you select a task, make sure you write it down specifically, not like electrical work. Write specifically replacement of 11 kV feeder cable at substation block C, like specific detail that specificity matter for everything that comes next. So everything should be a detail, not like just electrical work, but where this electrical work will happen, on which place this will happen, and on which instrument that will happen, like 11 kV feeder cable. So everything should be specifically mentioned. Let's use something everyone can relate to. For example, changing the diesel engine oil in a vehicle. So how would you break this job down? Step 1, park the vehicle on level ground, apply the handbrake. Step 2, gather your tools and PPE, gloves, safety eyewear, a drape tray. Step 3, position the drape tray under the drain plug. Step 4, remove the drain plug. Drain the old oil completely. And step 5, remove the old oil filter and replace it with a new one. Step 6, replace the drain plug, add the correct amount of fresh oil. Step 7, check the oil level with the dipstick, inspect for any leaks. Step 8, dispose of the used oil in the designated waste container. Step 8, clear. uh, in this 8th step, we have a clear job specification of every step. 8 clear step, clean, logical. Now here is the golden rule for this step. Not too broad, not too narrow. If your step says change the oil, that's too broad. That's the whole job. If your step says pick up the wrench with the right hand and grab the drain plug at a 45-degree angle, that's too narrow. That's a manual. Aim for the middle ground. Each step should be a meaningful action that can have its own hazard associated with it. Usually between 5 and 15 steps is the sweet spot for most tasks. If you have more than 20 steps, consider splitting it into two separate JHA forms. Okay? Gather your, sorry. Let's now talk about how JHA looks in three industries that cover probably 80% of our audience here on this channel. The first industry, construction. If you are on a construction site, your highest JHA priority tasks are framework and shuttering, reinforcement fixing, concrete pouring, any demolishing work, and scaffolding. The number one killing in construction industries globally is falls from height. So every year, every country observe this hazard, fall from height. If your GHA for any working at height task is weak, that's a life-threatening gap. A second industry, oil and gas. For those of you working offshore or in refineries or petrochemical plants, your critical JHA are around drilling operations, hard work in classified hazardous zones, H2S monitoring procedures, and tank entry and cleaning. The biggest single killer in oil and gas is toxic gas exposure, specifically H2S, hydrogen sulfide. And here is the terrifying thing about H2S. At high concentration, you cannot even smell it. Your sense of smell shuts down instantly. You can be dead in seconds if you are not protected. That's how important a proper JHA is in oil and gas. Third industry is manufacturing for factories and plant. Your GHA prioritize and machine guarding tasks, chemical mixing and handling, forklift operations, and any work on pressure vessels. The leading injury cause in manufacture industry is being caught in machinery or struck by moving part. So guard exists for a reason. Make sure your GHA specifies that guards and it must be in place before any task begin. Whatever industry you are working in, the process is the same. The hazards are different, the controls are different, but the 5 steps never changes. Okay, now I'm going to share something with you. that most training courses skip over. The 8 mistakes that kill the value of JSA. And I have seen every single one of these in the field, every single one. Um, let's begin. Mistake 1. The JHA is written by HEC officer alone, sitting at a desk in his office. I have been on site where the HEC officer has never actually visited the location he is writing a JHA for. That JHA is worthless. Go to the site and walk the worker every time you make JHA. Mistake 2. Vague, meaningless language. Ensure safe working practices are followed. What does that mean? If a worker read what If a worker reads that, what exactly do they do differently? Be specific. Wear class 3 high vest. Maintain 3-point contact on ladder. No puns on scaffold. Mistake 3. The JH is done once and filed away forever. I call these drawer J's. Yes, okay. Nobody read them. Nobody use them. They just exist on paper. A JHA should be read out to the workers. They should be involved in it every single time before the task begin. That's called a toolbox talk, and it takes 5 minutes. 5 minutes that can save a life. Okay, mistake for that I have noticed is PPE listed as the only control. Hazard from fall, hazard hazard, fall from height, control, wear helmet. A helmet is for your head hitting something. It's not fall protection. Okay, and PPP is the last result of control. It's not the first priority of control. So, if there is a hazard from fall from height, and control is we say wear helmet. This is a big mistake. It should be the last option to wear helmet. Before that, we should bring other control measure to completely prevent this situation, fall from height. Mistake 5 that I have noticed is no risk rating. Just a list of hazard with no numbers, no colors, no priority. If everything is hazard, nothing is a priority. Rate your risk. This is important thing. Rate your risk, and always do a proper rating before framing your JSA or while framing the different tasks. This will help to prioritize the task that has the highest risk and those with the medium risk. Mistake 6 that I noticed is JHA is never updated after incident. Every near miss is a gift. It's telling you your current JHA did not catch this. So we have to update it immediately. Mistake 7 is worker don't sign it and don't understand it. A JHA that worker haven't read, discussed, and signed is just a paper. Get every worker's signature. Walk through it with them personally. Ask them, do you understand this step? Do you agree this control will protect you? Mistake 8. Copy pasting a generic JHA form from the internet. I know it's tempting. I know it saves time. But a generic JHA can actually be more dangerous than no JHA, because it gives everyone a false sense of security. Your JHA must reflect your specific job, your specific site, your specific condition. Avoid these add mistakes, and your JHA will genuinely be exceptional, and it can save you from incidents, it can save your company reputation, and it can prevent someone hurting so that everyone goes home safely. Alright, we are almost at the end, and I want to leave you with some tips that took me years to learn. Tip 1: take photos. When you do your site walkthrough for the JHA, take pictures of the work area, picture of the equipment, picture of the equal hazard point. Attach them to the JHA form. Why? Because 6 months later, when there is an incident investigation, you have photographic evidence of the condition at the time. That's incredibly powerful. Tip 2: consider video walkthrough. For complex tasks before you write anything, walk through the job with your phone camera recording. Watch it back. You will see hazard you missed the first time. Our brain fills and gap when we are physically present. Video does not lie. Step 3: review schedule. Don't just set a JHA and forget it. High risk JHA should be formally reviewed every 6 to 12 months. And maybe for more prompt action every month. And immediately after any incident, near miss, procedural change, or new equipment, put it in your calendar right now. Make it a habit. Tip 4: use it as a toolbox talk. Print the JHA, stand in front of your crew before the work starts, read through each step, point to the real hazard, hold up the controls, ask questions. What do you do if the harness anchor fails? That engagement, that conversation is what makes safety real for workers. Tip 5: check the residual risk. After you have listed all your control, go back to the risk matrix. Rate the risk again with those controls in place. If it's still too high, your controls are not enough. Find better one. Never accept a residual risk that's still extreme or high without escalating to the management. And for tools, if you are just starting out, an Excel spreadsheet is absolutely fine. As you grow, look at platforms like Safety Culture, which is also called iAuditor. It lets you do the JHA on your phone, attach photos, get digital signature, and track everything. I'll put a free JHA template in the description, Excel format, so you can start today. Okay, we have covered a lot today, so let me bring it all together. The JHA is a five-step process. Step 1: select the highest risk task first. Don't try to do everything at once. Prioritize. Be strategic. Step 2 is break it down. List every step of the task clearly. 5 to 15 steps is your target. Not too broad, not too narrow. Step 3 is identify. For every step, ask what could go wrong. Scale all 6 hazard types: chemical, physical, electrical, biological, ergonomic, psychological. Walk the job. Use your eyes. Step 4: assess. Use the risk matrix. Likelihood times versus severity. Rate the risk before controls. Then rate it again after controls. That's how you know if your controls are actually working. Step 5 is determine control. Use the hierarchy like eliminate first, substitute second, engineering third, warning signs, administrative, PPE is the last. Okay. Always use the highest level of control that is practically achievable. And then two more things that are not number steps but are equally important is engage your team workers, supervisor, management. A JHA done by one person in isolation is not a JHA. It's a guessing game, okay? And use it. Don't fail it. Don't email it and forget it. Stand in front of your team. Read it out. Get signature. Make it a living part of how your team works every single day. That's a JHA done right, and the job will be ensured with greater safety. And this is a complete job hazard analysis video for what it is, to why it exists, to how to do it step by step, to what a real farms look like, and to how not to mess it up. You came in here and maybe you don't know where to start, but right now you have everything you need to go out there and do this JHA properly. And here is what I want to say to you personally. This work that we do in HEC, it's not just a career. Every JHA you write, every hazard you catch, every incident you prevent, that's a real person life saving. You are protecting a real family that stays together, a real worker who comes home at the end of the day. That's why we do this. Don't forget that, okay? Now, I do have a few small requests before you go. If this video helped you, hit that like button. It takes 2 seconds and it genuinely helps this video reach more HEC professional who need it. If you are not subscribed yet, please subscribe and hit the bell icon. I hope you all will be benefited from this, and I will try to post every week HEC career guidance, technical tutorials, certification, everything. If you have a question, any question at all, drop it in the comment below. I read every single comment. I reply to as many as I can. Therefore, no silly question in HEC. Ask away. Okay, ask anything. And I have a free JHA template in the description, Excel format, ready to use. Just download it, put your company name on it, and start. But check it as per your need. Okay. Thank you so much for watching AGC Career Hub. Take care of your worker. Take care of yourself. Stay safe. Stay safe, and I will see you in the next video.